So, welcome back to part two of the budget planning in Dynamics AX 2012, how to set it up in the end. If you haven't watched part one, then I would actually recommend you to watch part one because we are in the middle of the setup of the budget planning in the end. So yeah, have a look at my channel, have a look at part one, and then you know how to do this kind of budget planning workflow where a finance guy creates initial budget, AX distributes different kind of budget plans directly to different departments based on an Excel template. They can fill it out, and the aggregated thing is going back to finance, and they are going to approve it. So this is in the end the thing that we are going to do. Yeah, so if you didn't watch it, watch part one because we are moving on in here with the allocation schedules. So we've created the scenario constraints. So what can be done in each of the different kind of scenarios. And now we are going to create the allocation schedules. So the allocation schedules in here as well, there are quite a lot of available from there are some available from the standard ones, so since it is a shared table, but we are going to create it from scratch. Great. So the allocation schedules makes nothing else than is going to copy one budget to another budget. So in one scenario, you can copy it to another scenario and so on. So this is the thing with the allocation. So for example, the whole thing like this. So the whole distribution. So AX is, for example, taking in here the total budget and it needs to distribute it and copy it into the new scenario. So for example, we have here the different stages. So the finance guy clicks on submit and AX is going to split the whole thing and copy, for example, just the different kind of lines which are for the purchasing department into a new scenario which is called the TJTCC for the cost center to approve, for example. So all those kind of things will be done in here. Great. I hope you understood what I mean, but maybe it gets clear right now. So I just say in here distribution of and now I just need to quickly check. Of course, I can't the scenarios. So of the TJTA in the end. So this is the one which will be distributed. So I just say here allocation schedule. So distribution of TJTA. So total year on this year to approve. So we're just going to distribute those amount and we say we are going to distribute it. So the distribution, the aggregation, and also also allocations across periods and dimensions are actually in here done. So therefore we are going just to distribute it. So we just say the TJTA stage, so which is actually just the budget which the finance guy created and said, well, this is fine, needs to be distributed in the end from one scenario. So in the end, the scenario this year to approve to the destination scenario, which is the next stage. So that this year requested from cost center. Good. So this is it. What is it doing? So for example, you just need to think about. So we have here the stage. Let's say initial, initial proposed from finance. So just those kind of stages. Then two or requested from department. Or how did I call the other one, the last one? This year to approve. This year to approve, which is proposed from finance. Okay, and requested from department. Good. Okay, so So basically, this is then the next step. So this means nothing else than, let's say there was from an amount perspective, you had an initial budget from 100, and well, the finance guy is saying, well, okay, within one plan, he's going to say, well, okay, first thing is I'm going to give the purchase 500 Swiss francs. Whoops. I'm going to give IT. I'm going to give 700 Swiss francs, and I'm going to give admin 8,000 Swiss francs, for example. So within one budget plan, finance is going to say, or within the total budget plan, finance is going to say, well, okay, I give this department 500, this department 700, and this department 800. The distribution is doing nothing else than just the distribution of those amounts. So in the end, AX is going to create budget plan 1, so budget plan purchase. So with the new stage request from department 500, and then budget or child budget plan IT, again with the same stage 700, and budget plan admin requested from department 8,000. So this is just a distribution which is done automatically if you do it this way. So the total budget plan will be distributed into 3 child budget plans and is going to split it based on the cost center. So in the end, quite simple, I hope. Good. Okay. So next, if we have a look, or if we just think about the different stages. Yeah. So yeah, let's add the aggregation at first. Let's add the let's add the aggregation. So of course, in the end, so after they approved it, we want to have it in the end at the finance review stage again back together. So this means nothing else than you need to think, well, in here they are maybe saying, well, no, I want to have 900, and admin wants to have 50,000, for example, and we want to have it in the stage finance to review. We want to have it aggregated back together. Means nothing else, so just the total of 51,600 should be back aggregated together. So this means nothing else. Then we need to say in here aggregation of TJRCC. We are going to aggregate it. The source scenario, so we are going to aggregate it from the requested from cost center to this year amount to approve, for example. And then it is going to be aggregated back together. Okay, now you have also the possibility to say, well, okay, you want to make a distribution across periods, for example. So as an example, until this stage here, so this one is just one amount for the whole year, 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 still one amount for the whole year, because until this stage they don't think about, well, okay, I want to analyze anything, I just want to have a look at the yearly budget. You have the possibility then to copy one scenario to the next scenario in the end, but distribute it. So distribute the amounts. So for example, in this case here, we have in total 51,600. Of course, it will be split then by cost center, but you can then say, well, okay, because I'm going to analyze it later on in a with the management reporter or with any kind of thing. I want to have it by month. So just in the end, I want to split this divided by 12, and then on each month 4,300. Of course, still split it by financial dimension, so still split it by purchase. So in the end, it would have for purchase 900 divided by 12 and so on. But I think you get the point what I wanted to say. So therefore, I just say, well, copy to proved or to final, yep, budget. So means nothing else than I can say here, allocate across period. Now I need to have a period key. A period key means nothing else than here right click, view details, and in here you can go over the wizard. For example, the wizard is quite simple. So I click on the wizard, I click on next. I say here per 1 month of totally 12 months, I guess, fixed from opening fiscal period of the year. Makes sense. Good. And then in here, specify apply to allocation lines. The financial for specific lines can be edited before blah, 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 blah. No, I just want to do it for the thing. And the period key should be called monthly. So over 12 months equally. So we don't have any kind of seasonalities or things like this. So therefore, AX generates here just for each of the months 8.33%. You can override it. So if you would have any kind of seasonalities or whatever you want, then you can do it the way. And there are quite a lot of possibilities. Good. Yeah, you don't see the thing here. I just quickly close it and reopen it. And then you see here there should be kind of bars. Genau. So each month we have 8.33%. So I add here the period key monthly, and I say again the source scenario. So I want to, no, not here, I want to copy the scenario finance review to finance approved, but at this point I want then in the end to have it allocated across the 12 months. So I just say TJTACC, this one, and I want to copy it to TJ final and with the period key monthly. Yeah, great. Okay. It is an unbelievable big. Yeah, it's quite. You need to think quite a lot with setting up the budgeting module. So yeah, okay, good. So the next is then the stage allocation, which we'll have a look after a quick break. Good. Okay. So the stage allocation. Good. We've created the allocation schedules. So we said, well, what should happen? And now we need to say, well, when should it happen in the end? So, yeah, as we saw here not here, in the other one, at the stage of initial, so between initial and distributed, he should distribute it in the end. So between this and this, he should actually do the allocation schedule, distribute. So means nothing else than I can say now, well, okay, at the initial state, so total budget, initial, I want to run the distribution. So distribution of TJTA in the end. Great. So what next? Well, whoops, we said we want to aggregate it. So we just say, well, okay, at the stage of aggregate, at this stage, he should do the aggregation of the TJRCC. So in here, just between aggregate and finance review, he should do the aggregation and put all these kind of things together. What else? Well, at the stage between finance review and approved, So finance review and approved. He should do the the copy, yeah, copy of final budget. Let's call it allocate across, allocate, yeah, allocate. Good, perfect. So now AX knows at what point he needs to do which allocation schedules. Perfect. And now we are coming to a chapter which is quite simple. Priorities. Quick, I can't remove it. Well, you can add different priorities, but you actually normally just have one priority, which is high. Really, very high. Uh, so, so, yeah, yeah. You don't need to add one in the end if you don't want to. Okay, now the next big steps, not yet the folder, but then the templates. But let's go to the folders. So you need to add the folders where the Excel files will be put at the time when the budget plan is created. So now it is important. So you can click here on add and then here on this folder. Important is never use any kind of C or whatever. So don't use something like ctemp or whatever. This won't work at all because it is executed on the AOS, on the application object server, which means you need to have a drive where the application object server have access to. So in this case, here I'm just saying, well, it should be in here. Maybe I can create, yeah, good. So I just quickly go in here and I say, yeah, good. So okay, this one is a network drive where the AOS have access, and I just quickly say here, in here, I'm going to create new, and I say my folder, and I go into this folder and I say, well, okay, I'm going to take this one here. If you don't have a clue what kind of folders or what kind of folders your AOS have access to, well, or if you don't even have a clue about what's the name of your AOS, you will see your name of the AOS normally in the system administration, and then under system server configuration, and then you would have here in the end the AOS server name normally. It depends how you set it up. Otherwise, ask someone from which have a clue, so some technical guy. But yeah, in the end, you just need to know some network drive where the AOS have access. Okay, and now the next big step is I can't remove them. I just quickly remove those at first. I think I'm able to, and now I'm also remove those ones just that we really just have. Okay. Okay. Okay, the templates. So, the templates is nothing else than the Excel templates. Now you can actually create several ones because of course each person should see kind of different things during he is doing his budget. So for example, at the stage, let's say of the initial one, you should have the whole split between the different main accounts and the different cost centers and each line, for example. And maybe in the end, at the finance review, he don't want to have every line. He just wants to have the sum by cost center or whatever in the end. So this means nothing else, and you can create different kind of templates for the Excel. Now, first of all, before you start in here, you should actually create the measures. So measures is nothing else than the sums of kind of different things in the end. So for example, scenario one, actual budget, you just want to have the sum there. So before you start in here, if you go over the wizard, I'm actually going to do it afterwards the manual way. Because the wizard is too simple and I don't like it simple. No, it's actually because, you can use the wizard, but it doesn't work all the time and not always the way how you want to have it. But okay, in the end, let's go to budgeting and let's add the metrics field for worksheet templates at first. And maybe you will get this message that budget service inbound port is not activated, which means nothing else than if you would receive this message, then you can close it and check it at first. So you can go to service administration and then to AIF, service and application integration framework, inbound port, and check if there is any kind of service which is called budget services. And as you can see here, so if it would have a red X, then you just need to click on activate. If you don't have it here, then you need to go into the AOT. So Control and D. If nothing happens, you don't have access to it. So ask the administrator to do it. Yeah. In here, you need to go to the service groups and search for the budget services. And then in here, he has actually 3 services which needs to be deployed. So just right click, deploy service group, and then wait until AX deployed the services. Good. And then AX deployed it. Maybe you have some warnings. Doesn't matter at all. You will have warnings. Yeah, needs to have. No, doesn't matter. That's great because you can then close the AOT and check again in here the inbound ports. And now the budget services should be available and it should have a green tick. Great. And yeah, let's quickly try it again. So let's go here to metrics fields for worksheet template. Let's see what's happening now. Now it's processing. And still processing. I guess you know this bubble. It sometimes it appears and don't want to go away. But let's wait. Just quickly click on pause. Good. And after a while, you end up in here. Good. Now, what does it mean? So, what are we going to do in here? I'm going to show you afterwards the manual way as well, because I'm going to create the template the manual way and not over the wizard. So, yeah, so we are actually going to say, well, yeah, we are creating those sums, nothing else. So we say, well, okay, budget plan scenario LJA, the total sum should be shown in one column and so on based on the template that we create in the Excel template. So this is the only thing that we do. So I can click here on new and I can say, well, LJA, so last year's actual. I can click on parameters. I can say it is an amount. Read only makes sense. And there are already filter conditions in it. What the hell? Okay, and I click here on add. And normally, yeah, we need to say budget plan lines. And we just take the scenario because we just want to have the scenario in the end. Also basically just filtered by the scenario. Budget plan detail lines scenario description, not budget plan scenario. Yeah, don't take the description, take the budget plan scenario. Yeah, and then contains, no, not contains, is, and then I should be able to click in here and then I can say okay, LJA. Good. I can click on new and I can say, well, okay, I also want to have last year's budget. I'm going to delete those things and I say again. And in the end, you just need to do it for all the different scenarios. But, so LJB, okay. Yeah, also read only. And I'll add the last one as well. This is this year proposed. Yeah, take now. Okay, this year proposed by finance. This makes more sense. I go take it out. I add a condition. I say here again, budget plan scenario is this time this year to approve, but this year proposed by finance. For the others, you would need to do it as well. Exactly the same thing, of course, but because I'm not going to do it, yeah, okay, I'm quickly show the wizard as well. So therefore, I just quickly do it for all the different kind of scenarios. But I break here the video as I pause here the video because it's always the same. Good. So I just created a different kind of scenario. So always just buy the scenario and then just, yeah, sometimes read only, sometimes not read only. Maybe actually it can also be that it makes sense to add the year then. This can be because if you would, yeah, definitely. Because if you would have, let's say, last year's budget as well in it, then it would add the last year's as well. So it would make sense, I would say, to add here as well the date. I think there should be somewhere a date. Maybe just on the budget plan. There was, I think, budget plan. Okay, budget plan line effective date. Okay, yeah, effective date then. Okay, so this means add condition. So if you want to have effective date, the effective date is or on after, so means nothing else than a relative and then first. Oh, I don't have year. Okay, relative to today plus null day doesn't make sense. I added an absolute value, so this means is on or after 1st of January 2016 0 0 0 0. Yeah, it's AM PM. I'm not used to AM PM. First, and I'm also not used to this date format. So 1st of 2016 12 0 0 1, and now how can I say PM? I want to have AM. Yeah, I guess you know what I mean. So this means I can say end budget plan lines effective date is or on before value absolute, and then in here the 31st of December and 11. Yeah, good. Now I have AM here, but yeah, but anyhow, good. Okay. So this means nothing else than if you would have several budget plans, then he would just brings you 1 year and not the sum of both years in the end. Good. Okay. So this was the first step, that you do it this way. Let's quickly, I just quickly try to do it over the wizard one. So I click here on wizard. Let's see what's happening. You can click on next, and then you will get actually this message at the moment: pre-requisition checklist budget plan office add-in service document data source is not activated. You must blah 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 the system administrator to resolve this issue. So fortunately, I am the system administrator, so therefore I know what to do. So you can go to organization administration, and as soon as the service, so the budget service, is activated, you need to go here to document management and then document data sources. And in here, yeah, as you can see here, there is no budget service available. So you just need to click on new module budget, data source type service. And now because as soon as the service is activated, you should actually find here somewhere some services which are called budget, and it should be this one, but nevertheless just add all the three: office, add in, create a new one, budget again, service, search for the second budget service. So the plan service, activate it, but budget, plan service, and budget and service, and add here as well the last one, the transaction service, budget transaction service, and activate it as well and close it. Good. And now back to the wizard. So template, wizard. Next, now you don't get this error. So you can say template name, my first trial over wizard. As I said, so I actually got the problem in another system that as soon as I tried to click here on the metrics field for worksheet template, nothing happened. Even if the service worked in this standard system, it is working. In my system, it didn't work. Therefore, I just made the manual way. So if this one here doesn't work, don't worry about it because yeah, we are going to do it the manual way afterwards anyways. Good. Choose the folder that we've created, so the one with my folder. Choose the legal entity, which is quite clear, and choose the account structure. So in my case, the GLSI cost center. Click on next. And now you can say, well, okay, what do you want to see as a header? I say, for example, document number, responsibility center, maybe the budget plan, who created it, doesn't matter. You can add here these kind of fields that you want. You can click on next. And I also had the problem actually that when I went in here that nothing was shown in here. So it was somehow quite messed up, the service. But yeah. Good. So what you want to see in here, important is you actually need to add here, oh, it's doing it automatically, so that's fine. So let's add here the main account description, the cost center description, maybe the cost center in the beginning. Whoops, yep. Budget plan, scenario, no, the currency as well, not the amount. Is no bad. The amount. Maybe it's automate, but anyhow, okay. So just the dimensions that you want to see. Yeah. Then next, and now we have here the metrics fields which are available. So we can say, well, okay, we just want to see quickly all. On next again, and yep, and then you can say preview in Excel. And now I'm also interested if it is working or not. Let's see. It is doing something at least. And if it is not working, then I don't mind because then I'm going anyways for the manual way right afterwards because it is yeah, it is quite, you just need to understand what is going to happen actually in the end and what you need to do and that you do actually everything absolutely correct because otherwise it won't work. Yeah, that's always the problem with such kind of Excel add-ins. As soon as you do everything correct, it is working, and as soon as there is some small things which are wrong, nothing is working at all. Yeah, so it is still again the bubble is coming, so I just quickly pause here the video again. Great, and it actually looks fine. So this is the output. Looks great. Even if it's kind of like yeah, kind of strange that you have here name and it will stay name any yeah, it will stay this way actually. It doesn't matter at all. This way is actually, yeah, it looks great. So it looks that it is fine. You can try to refresh the data, but there won't be anything in it, or maybe it is because I'm connected to USMF and not to, yes, I am, not to GLSI. So if you click on refresh, then there will be data available, but document number and responsibility center and budget plan would still have here the hashtag name because it is actually just showing it at the time when it is created. But this should be actually the way. So let's quickly try it. And he's still reading the budget plan data. So, yep. So, and after a while, as you can see here, AX filled it here after I clicked on refresh. And as I said, the document number, so those kind of things up here will still remain with the hashtag because it is really just during the process when it is shown correctly. Um, yeah, it is not responding at the moment, but of course the amounts are blank in here. It took everything from USMF, so from the other mandate because I'm connected to it. Yeah, so I would just need to click here on the option. And is it that big that he has that many problems, or what is happening? Yeah, so we really took the unfiltered, the totally unfiltered data. And is totally stuck now. But anyhow, I can say then, well, okay, yeah, would this work? Okay, so now I'm connected to USMF, so you can click here on the Dynamics AX add-in. If you don't have it, then you have a problem, ask for it. Genau. Good. So, yeah, that's fine. Just quickly click on connect. Default account structure GLSI and OK. And if I click on refresh, then it should be blank in the end because I don't have any budget data in this mandate. And not even this main account. Okay, now it is loading again and hopefully find nothing. Okay, it's still loading, so it seems okay. Now I guess it seems that it is anyways just shared, so that you really see all the things from all the companies in here. But of course, as soon as you create one specific, it is anyways filtered, so it doesn't matter. And we move on with here clicking on finish, if possible. Yeah, by clicking on finish. And then the bubble again. And not responding. Good. And after that, AX opened the Excel, and yeah, after I've clicked on finished and after a while, he generated the Excel, and of course, he saved it in here. Great. So this would be the way. Yes, save it. This would be the way how to do it over the wizard in the end, such an Excel template. I'm going to show you how to do it actually manually on the Excel worksheet, just if you would have problems like I had. And it's actually, yeah, in the end, it is not that easy to create it in the end, but then you maybe understand what is actually happening or how it is working. Yep, I still have it, so good. So this one is the one from the wizard. You can actually add several templates. So for example, so what is a template? In the end, the template is just the thing with which, or the Excel sheet with which the different kind of persons are working. So for example, if we look here, the initial budget, for example, which the finance department is going to create, should maybe have the columns something like, well, main account name, cost center, cost center center name, and then in the end, well, for the first thing that we said, based on last year's actual year, for example, it should show this last year's actual, this year's last year's budget, and then amount which he can fill out in the end. So this should be maybe the one or the template which the finance guy needs to have or should have in the beginning, like this. The next, for example, so the department itself, the department actually should just have, for example, well, cost center doesn't matter at all because he knows his own cost center. So this one here would be maybe the template for first or for initial budget finance. Then the second one, so template for departments. They don't need the cost center because they know the cost center, so they just need to have the main account name, and then last year's actual, last year's budget not, but the amount from finance, and then amount department, let's say here amount finance, so just the one from here which is just to have a look at, but this one which should be editable. And on the last place, when it is aggregated, or when then the finance guy is having a look at it again, then yeah, let's say we just create two templates. Then again, this template. So we just create two templates just to make it a little bit easier. Good. So this means we are going to create these templates manually. So to do that, you need to open an Excel file. Depending on how you connect to the Excel, if you have Citrix, then you need to go not to your local Excel, but on the Citrix Excel. If you're using remote desktop, don't use your local Excel, use the one on the remote desktop connection. So yeah, just that you are connected to AX, and that you have here the AX icon add-in. Good. So first that you need to do is to make connection to the server. So under here, just click here on new options, and then you end up in here. Now it's always a problem with the server, so it is the name of the AOS. So you need to know the AOS server and the port. How to get it? Normally you get it in AX system administration. So important, normally a test system does have a different AOS than the productive system, so don't mess up with that. Otherwise you would do things in productive system which you don't want to do, because we are going to publish data as well over the Excel add-in. So really important, yeah, that you're on the correct server. So normally the naming is like this, at least we are doing it this way. I hope you as well. So you see here, okay, it is this server. So this one is the AOS server, so you can just copy it. And then in the Excel, you can say, well, this one here, yeah, makes sense. How to get the port? Well, I actually normally ask someone ask a developer or anyone else who knows it. But I actually always going to have a look at the inbound ports, and then somewhere, or there, if there won't be any services, then yeah, it's more difficult. But normally you have here kind of a URL where you see the AOS, so the same as before. So if it would be wrong in here, then you would see it in here as well, and then a double point and then the port, so 8101. So it means nothing else than in here 8101, and then the login company, which is GLSI, yep. And the partition normally doesn't matter. You can try initial, or you can leave it blank, and then click on connect. And then up here, something like this should appear. Choose the correct company, choose the correct or the default account structure, which is in my case the CC. It doesn't matter if it is a different one, and then click on OK. Awesome. Next that we need to do is we need to click here on Add Data. This also takes a while, and we should now see in here the budget things that we've created before. So before I showed you how to add those three things, so it's nothing else than the one from the organization administration, and we've been in here, document data source, so just those three. And which one you need to take? Well, the Office add-in, so click on OK. And now Excel is going to connect to the AX database. Awesome. Good. Now it is kind of strange a little bit. So you say here, for example, regarding the sheets. So you can say here, for example, view for user, and then editable, for example. So in here, you're just going to create the things where the user or the department can say, well, I want to change this amount to 7,000 instead of 6,000, and so on. Yeah, this is one sheet. You also need to have kind of a facts table, which is in the end hidden. So in the end, nothing else than just all the data which is in here available. I'm just going to show it to you right afterwards. And maybe another sheet which is an analysis sheet, analysis. In here you can create charts or whatever. In the end, it is an Excel sheet and you have every kind of Excel functionality available. But okay, let's start with the facts table, which is in the end hidden. What you need to do in here is click somewhere, double click on the budget plan, but on this one, just double click on everyone which have a red star or such primary key. So just this one. It doesn't matter at all, even if it is twice available, just double click on all the ones where you have such red stars and check that everything is available. And also this one, of course, as I said, it doesn't matter if it is twice available. Open the budget plan lines. In here as well, add everything which have such a thing, plus or in addition to that, add all the financial dimension that you're going to use. In our case, main account, also the description, and the cost center, description. And just to, I would add the amount as well, because then you would be able to check it right off afterwards as well. So this is it with this table in the end. So yeah, just double click on all the things, quite simple. And of course, in the end, you can say, well, hide, because the user don't want to see it, but I'm just quickly going to unhide it as well. Again, okay, the view for the user. So if you want to have any kind of data from the budget plans available, so for example, the document number, which will be quite important, or let's quickly say logo, any kind of logo first. Yeah, this looks nice. So this is my new logo. So, and I'm just going to insert, let's say, picture, and then this one in here. I want to have here my company logo somewhere up here. I don't want to have the grid lines, because in the end, this is how the user will see it. Then I can say, well, what am I doing? Well, I'm doing the budget from my company 2016. I say, well, fat, blah blah blah, bigger 2016, italics, and also a little bit bigger, and yeah. Good. Okay. So let's add some information. First of all, we want to have some kind of information from the budget plan header, and in this case, it is quite a little bit strange. What you need to do is you can add here on the left hand, or in here, you can say, well, okay, I add here just the name. So I say document number. It's just a number, but it is quite important. So now you actually want to have the field document number in here. You can drag and drop it, but in the end, you would end up having something like this, and which is in this case not the way how we want to have it. Yeah, you need to do it this way. You just need to put up here, and then you see that AX is written something, and you just need to put everything after the AX bot plan office Excel add-in. So in this case, budget plan header dot document number, or the first thing, well, yeah, the first thing that appears here, budget plan header dot document number. So you just need to add equal to budget plan header dot document number. Even if it looks strange, but it is the case, budget plan header document number, it needs to be exactly the same, and it is exactly the same. Good, you can make it bold. I can say, well, okay, I want to have also the person who prepared it, or let's say, no, not the parent budget plan, but the budget plan itself. So I say budget plan, okay, I say budget plan, I make it the same format, and in budget plan I see here budget plan header dot name. So again, equals to budget plan header dot name, and I want to have the preparer name. So I say preparer, I say good, and I say here the preparer is budget plan header dot budget plan preparer dot person dot budget plan header dot budget plan preparer dot person dot dear party table dot name. Okay, budget, okay, equals to budget plan header dot budget plan preparer dot equals to budget plan header dot budget plan preparer, and then budget plan preparer dot person dot dear party table dot name dot dear party table dot name. Great. Yeah, so just header information, do it somehow like this. Now, next would be that we are going to create the metrics measures. So the one that we've created before, actually on the thing here in the budget module. So these kind of things in here. Oh, it takes long now. We are going to create also the manual way. It's quite simple. You just need to right click here on the budget plan lines. So budget plan line details, right click, create metrics field. You can then say, well, okay, I want to have the last year actual, read only. And then you can add here as well the same thing as before. So just the budget plan scenario is not contained, but is. And then you have also connection to AX. So this means you have exactly the same thing as before. And then you have here the LJA. And now just do it for all your measures. So last year's budget. Also just read only. Budget plan lines, budget plan scenario is, enter value, and LJB. Important is in the end that those measures that you're going to, metrics, is that you're total to, or this year finance proposed measure amount. Important is the read only added just for those which are never ever editable. So for example, like the final, the actual budget, last year's budget and the last year's actual, but on everyone which can be some when editable, you just need to leave it as not read-only. Okay, this year to approve, so this year finance proposal, okay, and okay. The next one, create matrix field. This year proposed by department, add conditions, always exactly the same. Scenario is enter value. This year requested from cost center, yeah. And then right click, create matrix. This year, finance, finance to approve. Please make better conditions than I'm doing, but yeah. So is enter values and then this year amount to approve and okay. And the last one, this year approved. This one, of course, again, just read only because the approved one should never ever be adjusted, of course. So this year final, great. Now, okay, we said, okay, what do we want to see? The first one that we are going to create is, I don't have it in this one. I think it was in here somewhere. No, not this one. It's getting late, it's getting late, it's getting late. Here, okay. So for the initial budget, as I said, I just create one template for finance, and finance just have all the different columns. So therefore, main account name, cost center name, actual last year budget, amount financed and requested from those, then the approved and the final. Yeah. So I just add all the different kind of columns. So means nothing else than I'm saying at first I want to have the main account name. Good. Just add at first all of those. So main account name, main account description. I want to have the cost center. I want to have the cost center description, and I want to have the actual last year's budget. Then this year finance proposal, this year finance to approve. No, wrong. Oops. Delete column. This year proposed by department. This year finance to approve, and this year approved. Good. Now, oops. Now you have in here different kind of things. So for example, the document number, you can, all the things that AX automatically added, you can actually delete. Just valid needs to be in always. Don't take it out because it won't work anymore. Good, so you can say now, you can just rename the thing. So you can say main account, name, account name, however you want. You can say cost center name, last year's actual, last year's budget. You can also say things like, well, okay, this year proposal finance, this year proposal departments, this year to approve, and this year final. You can also make different kind of colors of the different kind of columns, whatever you like, actually. Yeah, I need to stop here for today actually because yeah, my last bus is going and therefore I should go on that. Therefore, I will move on tomorrow with finalizing the templates and also the whole processes, and in the end everything. For the moment, important is the last thing that I'm showing today is if you save it, then you need to, sorry, first of all, you need to go to the Dynamics AX, take out here the field, then it ends up like this. Click on refresh to test it if it is working. If there is no error message, it's fine. If there is an error message, then it's not fine. Yep, and then save as, browse, and again, also here, don't save it somewhere on your C. Save it on any kind of network drive where your AOS, the application object server, has access to. So, for example, AX, the one that I had before, AX. So on the AOS in this case, so I go in here, system administration, server configuration. I say in here, this one, I say go back. I search for / this one, and then budget planning, my folder, and then um, finance template manual. So manually done, the manual done, template, of course, template manually created, and just save it. Good. And I'm going to move on tomorrow, promised to show you how to finalize the budget and also how the process is in the end. Great. I'm going to create the part 3 then, because it is still another hour. So therefore, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it up to now, and I wish you a good night.